ChatGPT Plus is free for college students through May. Here's the thing. You've got a lot to do between now and then. Studying for finals, writing papers, trying to keep your life on track, and ChatGPT can help with all of it. It can quiz you for your econ exam, make a study guide from your French notes, plan out your meals and study breaks. It can get really specific on how you like to learn. It can even help you come up with ways to stop procrastinating. So from now until summer break, take advantage of all the ways ChatGPT can make your life easier. Restrictions apply.
My next guest is someone I have referred to as the single most talented political figure that I have seen since I worked for Governor Ronald Reagan. Kari Lake is one of the most dynamic communicators that I have ever seen. I'm absolutely convinced that she has an extraordinary political career yet ahead of her. I also believe that her greatest service to the American people lies ahead. And I saw this comment the other day on Twitter where someone said, I don't know whether you like Kari Lake or not, but you got to admit she's a five-alarm smoke show. Now, that's not the way I would have put it, but she's just as attractive as she is intelligent and as she is as informed. Kari Lake is headed to the Big Apple, and therefore she joins us now.
Wow. I can't even believe that introduction. Can you please do that again? You just, you pumped up my ego. Thank you, Roger. My goodness. Good to be with you.
I am delighted that you could join us. You're headed to New York. Now, many people don't know, but you add a new credential to your career. You've been a newscaster. You've been a journalist. You've obviously been a candidate for governor of Arizona, a race that I believe that you won, but has been taken from you through anomalies and irregularities that we're not going to go into today because...
And just plain cheating, okay?
All right. It needed to be said. You have a new hit song entitled 81 Million Votes, My Derriere, because we have the FCC listening. But it is a giant hit.
We unfortunately had to shorten it. I wish I could have said derriere.
It's a giant hit, and you can dance to it, as they say. But you have a book out, and you're headed to New York and New Jersey to promote your book. Tell us about that.
Yes, shortly after our victory was stolen from us, much like it was to President Trump in 2020, except actually they did this in broad daylight in 22, I had many publishers and individuals reaching out to me saying, you have to write a book. We want you to write a book. And I'll be honest, I was in a dark space. I was like, oh, I'm so angry at what they did. Not really just to me, but what they did to the people of Arizona. I thought this would be I'd almost have to write a slasher book, a horror book. I was in such a dark space. But then I started, putting the pen to paper, and I found it to be very cathartic. Of course, 30 years as a broadcast journalist, I love to write. And it was a time when I was just, it was over the holidays and meeting with a lot of attorneys and putting our case together. And we put together a great book. I didn't put this book together with any intention of running for office in the future. I put it together as a way to tell the story of an individual who jumped into politics as a citizen politician at the urging of my fellow citizens in Arizona, and how I went from being a girl who grew up in Iowa to a major news figure in Arizona into leading a political movement. And, at a time that's so consequential in politics, in American history, and human history. So it's a page turner. I didn't hold back because I had a bit of anger at that time with some of the people that did us wrong as individuals in Arizona. I did not hold any punches. I had many political people say, don't attack anyone, don't do this. And I said, you know what? If I'm going to write a book, I'm going to be truthful. So there are some big old surprises in there about some of the figures in Arizona politics and national politics that will probably surprise people when they read it. But it is a page turner, and it's out this week, and we're going to be in New York tomorrow, and we're doing a book launch tomorrow night. If any of your listeners want to come, it would be great. They can go to KariLake.com and find out more about it. It's at Benny John's Steakhouse tomorrow night starting at 5:30 p.m., and I would love to have them there.
That's very, very exciting, folks. I think you're going to want to check this book out. Kari, what's the name of the book?
Okay, I have to apologize for the noise. I am on the streets of the swamp. I'm in D.C. right now, and a bunch of trucks are going by. It's called Unafraid, and I was going to just title it Unafraid, and then we added a subtitle just to make the people who were trying to bribe me out of getting back into politics nervous, and so we added Just Getting Started. Because when about 2 months ago, a very powerful figure came to me and said, I have to come to your house and talk to you about something, and tried to bribe me actually bribe me into putting my political career on hold for 2 years because they don't want me on the ballot in 24. I realized at that time that this deep state, uniparty, disgusting, corrupt apparatus will do anything to keep politicians who are fighting for we the people off the ballot, such as Donald Trump, me, and other MAGA America First candidates. And so it really was at that point. They thought that I would take their offer for a ton of money to get out of politics, and that's what encouraged me to consider running again. You know, we're obviously fighting in the courts, Roger, and we're not going to stop fighting in the courts. But if these evil people who are trying to destroy our country want somebody like me out of politics, that makes me think I maybe should stay in.
One of the things that I admire about you is your loyalty. President Donald Trump did everything he possibly could to help you in your campaign. Your message is his message. It is a message of putting America first, putting our families first, putting our Constitution and its freedoms first. You have remained a steadfast supporter of Donald Trump for 2024, while others in the party, by the way, the same people who weren't for him in 2016 and pretended to be for him in 2020, have sought to replace him. I really admire that probably more than anything else because loyalty matters. Loyalty is important. Loyalty is how you judge someone's character. And I think, I'd like to hear what you think, I think that Donald Trump is not only going to be renominated, but I actually think he is going to run the table. He is going to use a poker term, draw to an inside straight, and he is headed back to the White House where he can restore the rule of law and put America first yet again. What do you think?
Oh, I mean, I don't know if anybody listening to you had a chance to hear his speech last night at the Faith and Freedom Conference, Ralph Reed's amazing event that he put on. It was the best speech I've heard him do. I mean, it has to be top 3 best speeches of President Trump. It was so good. What he's going to do, his policy, his Agenda 47 is so powerful, so transformative, so needed right now. And I wish that the media would ask him about it. You know, I was so frustrated watching Brett Baer's interview. Of course, I mean, Fox is Fox. And they wanted to get him trapped in talking about 2020, and I'm glad he didn't shy away from it. 2020 was stolen. But they refuse to talk about his agenda. Meanwhile, when they do this interview with Ron DeSantis, who has shown himself to have major character flaws, stabbing people who helped him in the back, they go, what are you going to do your first 100 days in office? That's the kind of softball interviews they give him. Whereas he doesn't even have policies. DeSantis doesn't, but Trump does. And his policies are meant for this time, to steer us out of this nightmare that we are in, this debacle that we call Joe Biden, that is who's a puppet of the CCP, who's sold out to the highest bidder and doesn't give a damn about the American people. And President Trump has shown with his Agenda 47, he's going to flip this thing around so quick, we're probably going to get whiplash, and we're going to be winning again in such huge ways. So I'm really excited about it. I'm loyal to him because I believe in what he stands for, America. I'm loyal to him not because I want a darn thing from him. And I've said that before. I ask for nothing. When I speak out for President Trump, I speak from the perspective of a mother who's extremely worried about her children's future. I mean, I had a great life. I made a fortune. I had a wonderful career that was very satisfying. I have 2 children, a husband I adore and love so much. I worry about my children. I worry about their future, even short-term future. We're heading towards a collapse of this country. And the only person who can pull us back from the brink is President Donald Trump. Truly the only person. It's none of these other cheap knockoffs. I mean, Ron DeSantis, whoever's giving that guy advice, should be run out of this country. He had a ability to become the 28th nominee to walk into that spot, and he took the advice. I don't know if he was bribed or what. He took the advice of these, I hate to say it, rhino, anti-American, globalist establishment guys like Ryan, like Karl Rove, like Jeb Bush. We're done with that. America's not going back to that time, Roger. And Jeb Bush and George W. Bush and the Obamas, it's all part of one big deep state swamp. And that DeSantis hitched his wagon to that tells me he has zero common sense, zero understanding of America. And actually, I don't think he should ever be in the White House because of that.
I could not agree more. I said this on Twitter this week. I took a little abuse for it.
Mic check. 1, 2. Are we recording? Hi, I'm Michelle Bernstein, an award-winning chef, restaurateur, and mom. I have a lot on my plate, including my psoriatic arthritis symptoms. That's why I was prescribed Cosentyx. It helps me move better.
Cosentyx secukinumab is prescribed for people 2 years of age and older with active psoriatic arthritis. Don't use if you're allergic to Cosentyx. Before starting, get checked for tuberculosis. An increased risk of infections and lowered ability to fight them may occur, like tuberculosis or other serious bacterial, fungal, or viral infections. Some were fatal. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms like fevers, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, had a vaccine or plan to, or if inflammatory bowel disease symptoms develop or worsen. Serious allergic reactions and severe eczema-like skin reactions may occur. Learn more at 1-844-COSENTYX or Cosentyx.com.
Ask your rheumatologist about Cosentyx.
Plan on flying? In order to board domestic flights, your driver's license or state-issued ID must be a real ID. Learn how to get your real ID today at tsa.gov/real ID or visit your local DMV.
What will ultimately happen here is that Ron will bomb out as a presidential candidate. His wife, Casey DeSantis, will run for governor of Florida in 2026 because Ron DeSantis is term limited under Florida state law. And I believe that they are addicted to the money, the special interest money, and the power and the prestige. So mark it in your book. That is my prediction in terms of what happens. All right, we're going to have to end it there.
Wait a
Kari
minute.
Lake
I don't think that they're going to be popular enough. I was just down there in Palm Beach. I did a quick poll of a huge sold-out crowd. I listed everybody running: Asa Hutchinson, Nikki Haley, Chris Christie. The loudest boos and hisses I got were for Ron DeSantis. This is the guy who was loved by Florida 6 months ago. They screamed, they called him a traitor. The people of Florida understand communism, and they see that he has hitched his wagon to the communist globalist agenda, and they won't have it. He's actually, I don't even think Casey can win.
Well, look, I didn't say she was going to win. I only said she's going to run. I personally would like to see Congressman Byron Donalds run for governor. I think he'd be a spectacular governor. Just this past week, Ron DeSantis told one group that he would be tough on China, but told a group of his globalist donors that he would not reimpose the tariffs on China that brought this country billions of dollars under President Donald Trump. Kari Lake was nice enough to join us at the last minute. Folks, go to KariLake.com to get the details on where you can see her tomorrow, where you can get her book. She's promised us she's going to come back on the show one Sunday for a much longer interview. I really look forward to that. But if you have an opportunity to hear Kari Lake speak, folks, you do not want to miss this. Please go to KariLake.com and get all the details, because Kari Lake is a historic figure who is going to play a crucial role in saving this nation. Kari, thanks for joining us here on The Roger Stone Show.
Thank you. God bless you and everybody out there listening. Thanks, Roger.
This is, as I said, The Roger Stone Show. You're listening on WABC Radio. If you haven't already wrapped fish in it, there's a piece in today's New York Times by Nick Kristof, who tells us that the most important thing to take away from the Hunter Biden scandal is the way Hunter, his parents, Joe and Dr. Jill, have embraced him because of his drug addiction. So in other words, Joe Biden took multi-million-dollar bribes from Ukraine and China because his son was a drug addict, and that makes it all right. Please give me a break. How about the fact that Hunter has been able to evade the draconian drug laws that his father was the chief sponsor of in the U.S. Senate? The drug laws that have unfairly and disproportionately incarcerated hundreds of thousands of poor people and African Americans. Where is equal justice for them? It sadly does not exist. Folks, if you get a chance, my website, stonezone.com, has now been completely refurbished. We're very proud of it. We've completely revamped it by going to stonezone.com, which you can subscribe, costs you absolutely nothing. But there you can find my book, The Man Who Killed Kennedy, The Case Against LBJ. You can get your very own Roger Stone Did Nothing Wrong t-shirt. That is the t-shirt, of course, I was arrested in when 29 fully SWAT-clad FBI agents stormed my home at 6 o'clock in the morning, brandishing fully automatic M4 assault weapons to arrest me for the entirely fabricated crime of lying under oath to Congress regarding Russian collusion, which we now know definitively, based on John Durham's report, did not exist. Strictly an attempt to pressure me. I did get one email I want to respond to. Last week on the show, somebody asked me for my mother's recipe for Sunday gravy. If you're Italian-American, as I am, Stone being a name plucked out of thin air by some clerk on Ellis Island, I want to shout out to all my Corbo cousins out there in the greater tri-state area, because that is the family name, Corbo. We're from Sicily. I did get a question who said, I heard your recipe. This is from Noreen in Borough Park, who says, I heard your recipe for Sunday gravy, but I want to ask you, if I don't have time to cook, what do you recommend? There's no payola here at all, folks. I got to say this. Michael's of Brooklyn. I get not a dime from them. I'm not paid by them. I just love good sauce. And if you're in a hurry and you want to find the closest thing to homemade, Michael's of Brooklyn. There's no payola here, folks. It's simply good. Maybe if I'm lucky, they'll send me a case or maybe just a couple bottles. But it's some of the best sauce you're going to find from a jar, and that's saying a lot. This has been The Roger Stone Show on WABC. Again, grab that WABC radio app, because you don't want to miss the Cats Roundtable. You don't want to miss Larry Kudlow on Saturdays. You don't want to miss Cindy Adams on Sundays. You don't want to miss any of the amazing programming you can only get here at the powerhouse, WABC, making AM radio great again. I'm Roger Stone. This has been The Roger Stone Show. I want to thank my guests, General Michael Flynn and Kari Lake, for joining us here. I look forward to next Sunday at the same time, 3 o'clock, The Roger Stone Show. If you don't live in the tri-state area, folks, go to WABCRadio.com. God bless you and Godspeed.
Member Week is here at Lowe's. Don't miss your chance to get up to 40% off hundreds of items like paint, stain, tools, flooring, and more. Shop our exclusive deals happening in-store and online from May 8th through May 14th. Not a member? Join My Lowe's Pro Rewards for free today and get ready to save more. Lowe's, we help, you save. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
It's The Roger Stone Show on 77 WABC.